Hello and welcome back to another review. Me, Kevin from Kevin Grant on Whisky. As I said, we would do a post review of the Glasgow Whisky Festival. It was just on at the weekend there on the 11th of November. What a weekend, what a day. I think it's my 5th year or so, or 5th time going to the festival, and it's just getting better and better. I kind of stuck by my rules just about. If you watched the first video on how to approach a whisky festival, I think I done okay on that side of things. Didn't go too much into it. So one of these screens just came on. Didn't go too much over the top, which was good, and I was able to kind of keep myself going. So the day starts off, we get there first in the queue, literally first in the queue, waiting for 45 minutes to an hour. We got there at 11 o'clock because 1,000 people going to the session. Seen all the brand reps coming up, got to say hi to everyone, got to see just it all unravel. It was a nice day, the sun was shining, it wasn't too cold, you're just anticipating getting in. 12 o'clock hits and that's it, doors are open, up the stairs, and the first thing you're given is, well, the first thing we have to give over is your ticket. So give over my ticket, get the wee bit tore off, and I always like to keep them. Then you're given a book, the Glasgow Whisky Festival book, and your glass. So the festival book's got everything in there. It's getting bigger every year because there's more whisky on offer. But was able to see Julie, Mark, and Thomas at McDonagh there. Just everyone's smiling, ready to go. I was given this. I was given my Royal Mill Whiskies £10 off to spend on the day or online. Also given a wee members pass for the day for the Scottish Malt Whisky Society. And then within this book, if you wanted to, you could sit and take a bit of time and find out where all the tables were and who was everywhere. So there's 3 places to go: the Lomond, the Nevis, and the Millennium Suite. 80 people, 80 brands at this. Average round about 5 to 6 bottles, maybe surplus of 500 whiskies to try in a day. I think even more. I'll play maybe an average of 500 whiskies to try, which is impossible. But I had my little idea in place how I wanted to approach it, go and see people. I started off at Voodoo Drinks. I got my first drink of the day, which was a beautiful Auchentoshan independent bottle, just a beautiful breakfast jam to get me going. And then it's just going around, trying to see places, trying to find where I wanted to go. And I was able to find some, and I veered off track as well. But I went through to one of the other sides and I was able to get to the Thompson Brothers, one that I was really looking forward to going to. And the time that I got there, it was actually quite quiet. It was really good. I was able to speak to Simon Thompson, who's part of the Thompson Brothers. He's one of the brothers. And I was asking about the product, what they're doing, what they've got coming out. And this was maybe an hour and a half into the day as well, so I'd had a few drams at this point. But I was able to try their own single malt Donach whiskey, and I'll put a wee picture up here of what I tried. I think there's only 77 or 78 bottles of it made, 6 years old, and I'm sure it was in a bourbon octave, and it was just stunning. It was a whiskey that's just right up my street. It was just buttery, it just had everything that I love about a whiskey in it, and I really, really enjoyed it, and that was my takeaway from the day. I was able to go to North Star Spirits as well later on, and I tried, I think it was a 25-year-old Clynelish, which was also stunning, a full bourbon cask, maturated whiskey. There was Paulo Cortado cask from Old Perth, which was awesome. There were just so many good things. There were some things that were quirky that I wanted to try that I'd never tried before as well. And some things were okay, and it's a good place to go. And the way it was set up, it's 1,000 people every year. It's the same amount of people that go to the first session and 1,000 to the second session. But it didn't seem too busy this year, and it was weird because it seems like there was more whiskey. It was great speaking to people, bumping into people. I had my first real kind of humble moment interaction. A guy called David, he came up to me and said, are you Kevin from Kevin Grant on Whisky? And you know, I just got a wee channel. There was Ralphie was there, Roy was there was other guys that have got tens of thousands of followers, and then here's wee old me standing at a stand, and he asked to take a picture with me. It was really it was quite an emotional moment for me, to be honest, and thanks for the support of the channel. I think that's the main thing. And to be there and just expecting just to have whiskey and speak to people and have interactions like that was cool. And I had a few other people saying they watch the channel, and it's honestly, it's amazing. It's absolutely something I would never ever anticipate to happen. But these are all the good things. All the good things. We come in, we get all our stuff. I didn't buy any whiskey. I find it difficult on a day like that to. I'm just more want to try and speak to reps and things. So I tried a good few whiskies, took some pictures of them. I'll put some pictures up at the end if you hang out at the end after the wee sign out, shall we say. I'll put some of the videos up and pictures of what I'd tried. Bottles of water were given to us, and this year. So I think last year I says my only little kind of critique was water was quite difficult to get your hands on. This year it was easy, even though they didn't have the fountains that they did a couple of years ago. Bottles of water were easy to go and pick up. The jugs were constantly filled. It was easy to just keep going and keep hydrated, which is my main kind of thing to do on a day like this, because everything's cask strength that you're trying, right? So that was amazing. That's a good wee kind of uplift for me. There's nothing bad to say. If I want to really critique and really be a little bit like, what should we do? My only gripe, I would say, this year is the shape of the glass. Because you wear your lanyard, it was difficult to put this on your lanyard. I like to take my lanyard with me and have the whiskey hanging in a Glencairn or maybe a Capita, but because it didn't have a stem, we found it difficult to put that on a lanyard. But that's the only thing. But I love all the wee stuff that's on here. It says NWS who sponsored, they're the headline sponsor. And then, yeah, it's a nice enough wee glass. It's good to sit in the house with, but to walk around with, you're always having to hold it. You could never put it in your lanyard. I've seen some people have it in the lanyard, and I've seen some dropping, and I knew if I put mine in, I would drop it as well. But it's a festival, 3.5 hours you're there for. Last pour's at 3:15. Everyone was in their best behaviour. I never seen anyone that was far too drunk. You know, I left and stood at the bottom of the stairs and everyone was walking down, didn't even need support from other people. They were just coming down and everyone was on their way. Then the next queue was starting already for the second session. It's an amazing day. You know, it's something I look forward to every year, and you're gutted it's over so quickly. But just the information you're getting, you could sit and look through this. It's got all the prices of the whiskey you're getting on the day. And as I said, you get £10 off with your voucher, which the Royal Mill Whiskies gave you for anything that was over £30. So some of the blends in there were £32. You were picking it up on the day for £22. And a couple of the Thompson Brothers blends were fantastic as well. But I never picked anything up. This is still valid until the end of the month to use online. So I'm going to have a wee look and see what I'm going to get. I've got until the 30th of November to use it, and then I'll give it a wee bash to see if there's anything that I really need. Amazing day. Am I going back yet? Next year, absolutely £45 well spent. And the biggest kind of takeaway, it was weird not seeing Paul McDonough there this year. It's amazing in the kind of back of the book here. They've got a nice wee kind of ode to him, and he was an amazing face to see every year. Always shook your hand when you came in, even if you didn't know you. He was just happy to see people there. So it was quite sad, you know, having a big character like Paul not there this year. But as I say, his son popped in to take the reins now, young Thomas. So again, got a big shake his hand, and then went back to the Bon Accord later on, a couple of drams after some dinner, and it was just, it's a magical day. The weather was great, the atmosphere was fantastic, the people were amazing, the whiskey was just top notch, and trying so many amazing single cask things, and some things out of the price budget as well. But it's amazing to be able to try for £45. Why not? I think this year the tickets sold out in 13 minutes. Next year I suspect it will be single figures in potentially 9 minutes. So get in early, keep an eye on it. The Glasgow Whisky Festival, you can follow them everywhere on Twitter and Glasgow Whisky Fest. Facebook's the Glasgow Whisky Festival, and also Instagram at Glasgow Whisky Festival. So make sure you follow them, keep up to date with everything that they're doing, and might see you there next year. But I'll leave some wee kind of pictures up at the end here, so if you hang around, you'll see some of the stuff that I was able to try in a day. And just again, thanks for tuning in. But as always, I've been Kevin from Kevin Grant on Whiskey. Join me next week. Let's talk whiskey. Thanks.